Okay guys, I'm about to go to market on the DAX, so let's flick this over. Now I'm doing this for the guys in the squad. Now ideally I want 34 pips. Now where would that be? So if I measure that out, it's kind of down into the bases of here, so we're kind of about ready to go to market. So let me just drop a quick order in. Now I'm going to be starting this at 50p. Now I'll explain that in just a second. So let me just drop this in and I'll just drop the order in. Okay, so there's my order initially in. Okay, now what we can see on this market, if we look at it, it's had a merry run down. It's had a little bit of a resurgence, but it's struggling at this level and it's now pushing back on itself with some gusto. Now, if that's the case, it's going to pull against this, all right? Now, I'll come into that in just a second because at the moment, I'm going to follow the price up and see if I can get it to a better price as we come on, because we kind of coming on to the top of the hour. So preempting it a little bit, but not too much. But the further I can get that up, the easier this trade will become. Now the trade itself came through this. Okay. Now if I go to Ask Scruff, it's for Emma. So a little salute to you. And wants to see that the DAX or the US tech worked out through 10 bid max size, £2 with a max risk of 200. Right. There was a lot to take into that, but just because you think you're going in at 10 quid doesn't mean to say you should. All right. And I explain that because I'm now taking them right through the journey. So what we started with was the news of the day. Now this was done sort of like 7:20 this morning, as was the initial strength of the market, which we can see the euro, which will affect the DAX, is middle ground. Okay. Now from there we start doing pre-assessments. You know, did one in the live call at 8 o'clock. Well, before 8 o'clock rather, where we can see what's going on. This was continued in at 9 o'clock, where it was telling us there was no trade. And now as we're coming into 10 o'clock, as you can see, it's in there. It's saying monitor, it's pretty much ready. And we're looking for about 34 pips. Okay. So I'm following through the journey. Now inside of this is where those pre-assessments and everything come from. So again, cost out the position size. I worked out exactly how much we should be going into this. And it's actually not £10 a point. In fact, it's ludicrously dangerous to go in at £10 a point on a 200 quid risk point, because that means you've only got 20 pips to play with. DAX will tear you a new one, so you've got to reduce the position size down to allow for the movement. Okay, marked it out fully so they can see exactly where it's at, what the trade idea is starting to become. This is at 8 o'clock with a pre-assessment. Did it again at 9 o'clock so we can see exactly where we are. And then finally coming into market now. So when you're looking to go to market, to just think that, well, I'm here, let's just press the button, is stupid. You've got to do a lot of homework and wait for the opportunity. Now, there'll be the arguments that'll say, well, you should have bought it and sold it off. But it weren't ready. It weren't showing its hand at that point. In fact, if I put the brake there, it's no different than trying to say, well, I should have got the brake on this one, and the bloody thing rattled the way off. So you need to let it show its hand. It's deep inside the trading arenas, so it's got plenty of protection points to work with. It's also got plenty of room to get down into target areas. Nice and simple, and it's shown the break of the range. So that's better. Now at the moment, I can just edge that up onto there, and now this target is becoming a damn sight easier. Now, that's what we want. The higher I can get that up, the easier this 35 pips will become. And the money side of it doesn't matter. If you're edging on the profit, rather than the process, complete waste of time. Because what will happen is you'll take substandard trades and those trades will kill you. And it doesn't matter whether you got 100,000 or £100, it will kill the account. Process is king, and part of that process is getting your position size correct to start with. So I'm allowing myself to stage in and build up the position, and I'm also allowing the trade to breathe in order to give me the end result, which is actually getting to here. The money side of it doesn't matter. Okay, right, we're in. So there we go. So now what I can do is I can build that position up into my last point of entry, which is up here. Gets beyond that, I've got a bit of an issue. I'll have to think about what I'm going to do. But in the meantime, this trade is set up and played out. So what I'm going to do is we'll play it out. I'll speed it up so it's only a minute or two. But in real time, it could be however long the trade takes. And then I'll come back to you with how the trade was made and, well, show you what the outcome is. So catch you in a bit, kids. Okay guys, I'll give it its hour. It's gone completely against me. I've got no other choice but to take a hit on this. So I'm going to close it off. Bang. That's it. That's cost me 200 quid this morning. Why? Because I was wrong. The market turned round. I gave it its opportunity to go in and get out. It hasn't given me it. It's moved circular of between 80 and 100 pips against me. Now, if I'd gone in at full size, that would have been a colossal loss. Huge loss. But I didn't. I sized it down. So yeah, it's given me a bit of a kick in the bollocks, and I'll need to sort of come back to that later on in the day. But at this moment in time, I'm now sitting at 200 quid against me. Okay, so I'm £209 in the pot. Now what that's done as an exercise is quite simple. It tagged me in early, so I had no other choice but to sort of stage into it. I wanted the price to move higher and then for it to come down and take me in. Now, it hasn't done it. It's spiked up. It's come to the point of pain. Now, if I allow this to go any further than this point, that's coming up to here. And then from there, it's going up to there. So that loss would be absolutely catastrophic. And it'll be so bad, I probably wouldn't be able to get out of it. At least now, I can take a breather. Just accept that something went wrong. And that's it. Because we had the breakout. We had the clear air down to here. Everything was telling me that this would sell at that point for the next hour. And it didn't. And look at it. It didn't even reprieve. It just went in a straight line. Now, if I'm going to lose, I would rather this scenario than a grinding scenario. Why? Because at least now I was in control of it. I allowed it its hour, because that's what I do. The sentiment has changed in the hour, and that's it. Will it run at that point? Yes. and that's exactly where it stalled. But now I had to make the decision, kill or continue. Well, I'm going to kill it, and I'll come back to market later on this afternoon, and I'll see if I can mitigate the loss. But I'm going to take a break. I've got a meeting at 12 o'clock, so that will give me the break anyway, and then I'll just look at something, and hopefully I might get back, well, I might get the whole 200 quid back, or at least I might get 50, 60 quid. But one of my golden rules is once I'm stopped out, I'm done for the day, because I'm out of whack with the market. Now, this particular market, it's, well, let's look at it, you know, just before we disappear off. That is clearly down. It's pushed up, but there's a hell of a lot of red in amongst this. Slammed down. It's actually slamming now. Just so happens that was pushing out. Yeah, it's taken a lot on. Too much to bear for what the criteria was that I set up. Just kill it. Now I can go back to market and I'll be fine. But the 200 quid, if you look at the start of this, was based on a 10k account. Is it really the end of the world? No, it's not. It's not the end of the world at all. It just means I've got a bit of a dent on the account. And you've seen red marks on my accounts all the time. You know, just so happens I have quite a lot of green ones as well. And the green outweigh the loss. Why? Because I do this scenario. This was horrid. So the scenario is get out, accept what was going on, and just reassess it. So there you go. Can't win them all, but I can manage them all. There you go, kids. Catch you soon.